Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. We turn the AC on. I'm putting some lotion on so I ain't in here ashy. My bad. Let me set ambiance. Let's see. What should we put on? Oh, look at that. The original Mortal Kombat.
Just like that, Anna. A horrific year. Just like that, Anna. A horrific year.
We're picking back up long form conversation podcast experience game. I'm Lexus King. Welcome to my channel. This is Kings of Experience. I am the dad by God, also known as the father figure. So let's just pick right back up where we left off. Stunting. I scrubbed hella bad. I went to work. Yes. From those pictures that you saw, I went to work. I worked for the railroad. I was a conductor. So I got on a filthy ass train with as many long sleeve apparatuses as I could put on, and I went to work for 12 hours, and then I sat in a hotel and bled all over the hotel. I'm talking about there was blood on the carpet, there's blood all over the bed, there's blood in the bathroom. I almost got to the point where I was tired of cleaning it up. Sorry, house cleaning, you got a job to do. I got up out of that hotel room and got back on the train. And when I was getting to the train yard, I was calling my wife. I was like, yo, I gotta go to the hospital because I don't know what kind of contact that I've had with my arm. And I've tried to keep it as clean as possible, but couldn't be more safe. So let's go straight to the hospital. Got off of work, this is about 40 hours after the accident. Go to the hospital, they scrubbing the shit out of me. Whatever, send me home. Now, in this video that you're gonna see right here, this was the very next day. Yes, stunting was life, baby. You can see on my right arm, there's bandages on there. And I told you I ride with sleeves. I only had one sleeve on. Yes, I was a complete fool. I was just literally sick in my head with stunting. So I'm out front stunting. I'm still stunting in pain. Hole in the back of my leg, all of that. It didn't matter. Stunt life was life. Speaking of stunt life, I had other homeboys now to ride with me. I had Alex and Oz. I had Jay Jonah. Alex Chan, he rode with me. Some of my SYTFU brothers, some of the best times I'd ever had. We were all part of SYTFU. My brother, I mean, everybody. Everybody that I hung out with was SYTFU. So that was just like a band of brothers. I mean, street racing and all that. Ooh, nah, we'll get into street racing after this. So everything was SYTFU, right? But because Jay Jonah and I came from Rough Riders, we also went riding with West Coast Connection, but it was never fully committed that we were officially West Coast Connection. You see me in a couple of videos, doing a couple of things. You see my homeboy Alex in a couple of videos. We did our thing with West Coast Connection, but we learned a lot from Bulo, but we didn't want to go into another aspect of somebody else's shit. So this is how we started Riot Squad. Riot Squad was originally a motorcycle group. We left Rough Riders, we learned what we needed from them, we got out. We learned how to be real foolies, real outlaws. With West Coast Connection, we was out. Riot Squad. Everybody was chilling on the motorcycle set, kickstanding, club hopping. We weren't into that. We were into doing that work on the streets like Bulo and them. But we were back road junkies too. We were all fast. So we didn't think like anybody else. We revolted against how everybody else thought, aka Riot Squad. That's how Riot Squad developed. Started the motorcycles. So we're setting our own bike nights. Our bike nights were fantastic, but because we ride particularly special, and I'll say special because we were mentally crazy, our bike nights were getting too popular. And I mean too popular. Popular enough that when we would set the rides at Charlie Chan's, the restaurant that we held as our home base, the people that would come there was so massive, the entire parking lot would be full, and we would try to tell people we're going to ride from A to B, we're going to do X, Y, and Z things. You don't have to do that. We actually don't recommend you do it. And when we're going crazy, please Do not attempt to do it if you aren't confident in doing it, because we don't want you to hurt yourself. We don't want your actions to hurt anybody else, and we want everybody to be safe. We're foolies, and we would try to express this as much as possible. But one night we went to the Port of Oakland. We were stunting. We knew the police were going to come. There's one side of Port of Oakland. If you go towards the city of Oakland, you go over a flyover that has the UP Railroad under it. This corner is very famous, and it's more famous than you think for something different than you think. It catches bodies. This corner catches bodies. I mean countless amounts of bodies. We warned everybody, when police come, because they will come, do not go towards the city. Go out and around towards the freeway. Please do that, because we don't want anybody crashing. Those were our exact words. In the mix of the fun, though, those thoughts kind of flew out of some guys' heads. There was a group of friends. When the police came, they went down to the flyover. It didn't end well. And that sat on our spirits heavily, so we ended the bike nights. We kept riding because we ride how we ride, but we cannot be responsible for people if they don't adhere to safety precautions in the middle of the sensory overload of how much fun that is. And then they were my homeboys, and it just wasn't, we felt so bad about that. We did the funeral and everything. This is another funeral that we did. And it was just, we couldn't be responsible for other people's riding. And we ended the bike nights. But we kept working hard in these streets. More lots, more practicing in Clawwood with Bulo and the other cats that would show up there. I got to the point where I was pretty confident on idles, doing wheelies, both sit down and stand up. I started to get a little cocky, sometimes put on a helmet, sometimes I wouldn't. This one particular time is absolutely the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me on a motorcycle, period. Hands down. No, me crashing, flipping over my bike, Sausalito, nah. Me crashing in front of the police, nigga laughing at me, nah. Me, doesn't matter. Nothing was this embarrassing. So check this out. I'm flossing and I'm saucing. I feel great. I'm doing idle wheelies, and I'm practicing on trying to do a U-turn because I was going to start doing circles. So Bulo's telling me, look at something on the ground, focus on it, go around it. Cool, right? Out front of my house, I'm doing U-turns. I'm going around a manhole, and I'm feeling like I got the dip in. I got it rocking. It goes, I dip it in, and I roll it. Now, I go against the grain on everything. People say, don't ride a Yamaha, ride a Honda. People say, do low inflation, don't do high inflation. Now, me being that kind of an asshole, or that kind of a mental psychopath, I'm on its R6 with high inflation. Now, the dip in on high inflation is a dip and roll. The dip and roll makes the bike actually dip in, and if you're not set right when it turns in, the bike will roll out because your body positioning isn't good. I wasn't quite there to have my body positioning, but I was working on it. What I was trying to do was get the bike up and rotate it in vertically instead of going in, dipping, and going fast. Bulo goes, dips the bike over, leans it over, goes fast. Real comfortable with stuff. He was showing me a few tips. Now, I kind of had it in the lot this particular day. I was so confident that when some of the 5150 guys pulled into the lot, I wanted to floss, baby. I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to showcase what time it was. It was time for some skin damage is what it was. Blood, I ain't even put on no helmet. Now remember, my bike's all red, it's all fresh, it's all clean. I'm doing things my way. I had this chrome double bubble windscreen. Foreshadowing. 5150 cats coming to the lot. I go yank it up. Ride. and I'm riding the idle across the lot to them. Now, here's what the plan was. I wanted to ride across to them where they were at. I was finna yeet and go back the other way on my U-turn that I got so confident in doing. Everything's going to plan. I ride up to them, and when I visualize my spot that I wanted to make my U-turn at, I get up to them and I yeet that bitch. I mean, swerve. Swerve was good. The swerve was real good. But the swerve comboed with me using too much foot brake, it swerved in and engine stalled. Now what happens when you stall the engine? Let me show you. As the bike stalls and mousetraps, because you kill the engine speed. Now you know how a locked up engine is. It's not starting, so the bike just comes straight down. I came straight down with no helmet on. Bam! As I stand up, I say, shit, my teeth hurt. I hit my face. I didn't hit my face on the ground. Why do my teeth hurt? When I did this, there's blood on my fingertips. I said, damn. I'm going like this, right? Maybe my teeth went through my lip because my teeth had hurt. So I'm like, I got all my teeth. So I'm embarrassed. Let me pick my bike up in front of these niggas. They already laughing at me. Or probably not. It was a regular accident in the stunt spot. So as I bend down to pick up my bike, I saw blood drip. Boop, boop, boop. Actually a lot of blood. Because there's blood on the ground. I just hadn't looked down yet. So I'm like, boy, what the hell? Chrome double bubble. I look in it like a mirror. My whole shit is full of blood. Literally my whole face, my whole goatee. What the fuck? So I go like this, because I was gonna clear my mustache for blood. When I did this, the pressure that I did right here separated my lip from my nose. I ripped my nose off my face. Perfect storm happened. As I'm stalling and I went down, my body moved to adjust with the drop. It hit and I went forward, and the perfect storm, the windscreen hit under my nose and above my lip and went up into it, and it ripped my nose from my lip. So I see that in the windscreen. I'm like, oh my fuck. Oh. I picked the bike up. Def Jam was with me. Def brother, cool dude, don't speak. He move it. That's how he communicates. That's how he talks, right? So I smash over there. Because my truck is over in this portion of the parking lot. And everybody was chilling because we were taking a break. We had been stunting all day. I mob up and I'm like, and I'm communicating with Def Jam, how Def Jam communicates to everybody else. Right? Def Jam like big girls, boy. He say, He said they pay like they weigh. But this big girl that he had there with us happened to be an RN. She telling me technical terms, oh man, you done fucked up, basically. So I was like, am I just gonna have a big ass nose when I dig in my nose? It's gonna be like this? She's like, nah, you're bleeding like crazy. Best bet for you to do, hold your nose to your face while you drive home. Go to the hospital, get some stitches. I say, I don't wanna go to the hospital, because guess why I didn't wanna go to the hospital? Because I had to go to work. So she's like, well, best bet is as long as you can, put a face mask on or something, hold your nose to your face while it's bleeding as crazy as it is. So, say no more. I go in the truck, I grab a t-shirt, I cut the sleeve off, I pull that shit down on my face, cuz. So I pull it over my face. So this t-shirt is bleeding, but my nose is being held on my face. I load the truck up. So I'm driving home, I'm like this, I'm like, I cannot believe I turned myself into an alien. I cannot believe you know how dogs got the slits on the side of their noses? I was like, I ripped here, I ripped there, I'm screwed. I have disfigured myself. You can imagine my wife. There's always something going on with me. Always. Always hurt somehow. Always needs your assistance. It's always something. I pull up, I just back the truck up in the driveway. I'm not pulling the bike off. This one I was scared about. So I called off of work. I got it before they called me. So I'm off work. So I'm scared. I'm like, yo, I'm really gonna have to get my nose sewed back on my face. So I pull into the driveway. I hop out. My wife's looking like, what the hell? My face is bloody. And it's dried up blood at this point. I just remembered. Because, yeah, it took me some time to get home from Hayward. So I got dried up blood all on my face. She's terrified. What did you do now? I'm like, I ripped my nose off my face. Now her homegirl was there, and she's like, nigga, you did what? I ripped my nose off my face. And so here's where I got relief, because I was terrified. I thought, dude, my nose has got to get sewn, whatever. Now, when I went to show her that I ripped my nose off my face, I pulled his bloody sleeve off, and I go to show her, so I'm like, look. And when I went and looked, I felt resistance, like you know how scabs feel. I felt the resistance, and then I felt a little tear, a little pop, like just a little one. I said, oh. But she could see it. I didn't have to show her no more. She could see it. She's like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. And I'm like, what you mean? She said, aside from the blood that's crusted in those areas, you don't look that bad. All right, cool. Well, let me run upstairs and see what the hell you're looking at. Luckily for me, my blood was rich enough and I was bleeding so bad that it had stuck, everything had stuck together. These edges were almost completely sealed, and that pop I felt was just this right here. It just popped just a little bit from the seal that it made. So I say, oh, I'm talking like this for the rest of the week. I ain't moving my upper lip. That's how I was talking. I didn't move my lip for days, cuz. So everything healed. It had this little skin flap, the portion that ripped up. So everything healed except for like this little bitty piece. Me being the man I am, I took some toenail clippers after it healed. Clip! Boy, better than nip tuck, cuz. So that was like always, unless I'm on a mini bike, and I do a lot of mini bike, I was doing a lot of mini bike stuff back then, always helmets on. So from that point forward, just helmets on, no more lots. I was done with that. I didn't care to learn circle wheelies no more. None of that. I had seat standards, was doing seat standards. It was just streets for me. I'm done with the slow speed stuff. I'm not mouse trapping nothing. I'm just doing all freeway stuff. So we would have a blast doing freeways, doing all kind of stuff, yanking, having a blast. But that was my like experience stunning. And we, still stayed with our group of friends. We would go ride out. My brother would ride out with us. He wasn't too much on stunting. He would do little sit down wheelies, little powwows, but that was about it. He was more enjoying like watching me do it and being like first row seat, front row seat, watching the wheelies. Like I was just having a blast. Me and my homie Alex, boy, we would be going hard. And so I was seeing that Alex was having, he was a beast on his Gixxer 1000, but he was having a better time on the R6. So as I moved into just stunning my newer R6, I was more into 100% ice cold clean street bikes, barely sprocketed. I wouldn't do too much on sprocket. Adding the sprockets is like changing rear end differential gear on your car, more acceleration, lower top end. Same thing with the bikes. You change the gearing front and back, you would increase the acceleration and torque and reduce the top end. But since we like to do so much freeway, high speeding, and still do back road stuff, I would do the most minimal sprocket change, which would only add that much torque, but my other R6 was so much more powerful, I didn't really utilize it. So I was riding that. I just let Alex, he would just come to the house anytime and grab any bike he wanted. And he was having a blast stunting that. So he and I were just tearing up a ton of stuff. So he's riding that bike. One night we were chilling at the house and we like, yeah, let's go film. My wife's upstairs asleep. We pull the bikes out. It's like 3 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning. Had a couple of homeboys over. We're rocking. We were doing a lot. 2, 3 in the morning. We're on the freeway. Wheelies. Police was behind us. Didn't know. That turned into a high speed. But we're in the back. Police come by us. Alex is on the wheelie. Oz is on the wheelie. Charles is chilling. Oz sets his wheelie down, sees the police. He goes over the curb, goes up University. Alex is doing a wheelie on my bike. He sets it down. He looks, and remember what I told y'all when I asked them if they was trying to hang with us. Y'all down for these wheelies? Y'all down for them high speeds? They said yes. When Alex set that R6 down, now that was the loudest bike I had. We were in Berkeley. We could hear him going to the Bay Bridge. He aired that cop out so bad. He said he was going through the toll booth. Speedo was off because it was geared, but he said the speedometer was saying 170-ish, which was probably only 149, 150 on that bike. But he went through a toll booth at 150 with a bike that probably cracked 130 decibels, 139 decibels. It was louder than shit. He said he saw the toll booth attendant move to the side, duck like this, because he's coming, moving. He flies through. He gets into Frisco. He goes to a construction site, lays the bike down, puts it under a tarp, calls us. We got back to the house. We saw the helicopter up. No big deal. We got a truck, went to Frisco, picked him up, put the bike in the back, put it over a tarp, brought it home. So we was like really on one, and I was like, okay, cuz is down, cuz is super down, you know. I mean, I'd already knew they were down because of how much work we've been doing the last 2 years, but I just knew for facts, like, yeah, they about it. They all the way about it. Alex was into cars too, or at least he wanted to be. He started to get into cars, and that just gave me a segue to get back into cars because my RX-7 had been sitting in the garage for the last couple years. I didn't touch it. It just was sitting there, right? So I'm like, all right, well, let's pull the RX-7 out and then we'll get it painted. I painted it white. By this time, it was like the 3rd time I painted it white. You can see this picture here. I had red bike, red car, white bike, white car, right? So I was just like, oh man, we finna do this. Alex got a 240. He got into drifting and he was looking for somebody to get some stuff worked on, the stuff that he couldn't do himself. So we started to go to Performance Options. Now, Performance Options turned out to be a place that used to be the spot that I went to. My rotary boss, my rotary head guru dude was William at C2. C2 got bought out because he was like, I'm out of here, and left, and Performance Options turned into what C2 was. Joey was a really nice guy. He was pretty fun, pretty cool to chill with. So Alex would hang out there, get some stuff done. I would drop by there every once in a while. As I was trying to get my RX-7 back in the game, I would drop by there, get some shit done. And one day we were getting ready to get the RX-7 set up to go do a dyno. We had just swapped another motor because I shouldn't have listened to this other cat. He's in Richmond. He had a dyno there. All I needed to do was tune the car. I dropped the car off there. He calls me saying, no, we can't do this. Your car's smoking. The motor's bad. The motor's blown. And I'm like, nah, B, can't be. Because it was new when I put it in the car. I just didn't tune it previous years back. So I go pick up the car. I started, and dude was kind of talking spicy. He's talking greasy. So I went with my pops. I'm like, yeah, dude say my motor blown. Whatever, let's go pick it up. So I go with my pops, and dude's like, oh yeah, this, that. My pops is like, cause dude's like acting like my motor was bullshit or I use shit parts. My dad was like, bullshit, you got it all the way. Dude was used to working on Mustangs or something. he ain't really know. And lo and behold, he did know what he's talking about. And I shouldn't listen to him. The motor was fine. It just had been sitting for a while, and the first startup, it smoked, right? And that was such a waste of time. Strike one for NorCal. So I pull a motor. Unbeknownst to me, I shouldn't have listened to him. Motor was fine. Here comes this other dude, Peter June, or June R. His name was Peter. And he takes my motor, he gives me some other motor. I'm like, all right, cool. Me and the homie swap it in the driveway. We put it all together. He gets an attitude for whatever reason because we wasn't listening to him. But it's a motor swap, and I've done this before. We haven't gotten to nothing special yet. I'll need your assistance when we get to something special. It's literally 2 bolts on the engine mounts, 7 bolts or so, because I only put 7 in on the transmission. Take apart the intercooler and pull it up. Ooh, whining, bitching. We pulled the motor out. We're getting ready to put the motor back in. He got such a fucking attitude because we weren't even arguing with him. He just was on such a cocky talk, such a trip. He's like literally pulled a Steve Urkel.
I ain't going home.
Son took his engine hoist and everything, and as he's doing that, I notice him doing it, and I'm like, and everybody's looking, and they're looking like, yo, I'm like, don't even trip. I was like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Keep working to put this in. He took his engine hoist, put it in his car, hoe ass boy took off. Cool, we're still in the driveway. We're about done. We're getting ready to put the motor in when he did that anyway. So that's why he thought that was such a big deal. I'm like, fine. I go in the backyard, get this huge 2x4. We put a tie strap on the engine hooks and lift this boy up. We holding it, other cats maneuvering it. We dropped it right in, boom, done. 25, 30 minutes. F dude, right? So we get that thing done. Now, it's ready to go tune. I thought. So was the story. We're performance options. So car's getting ready to go on the dyno. I'm running back and forth. Oh, do you have this? Do you have that? Yeah. Let me go back to Richmond. And I come back. Oh, we noticed that you needed, oh, okay. Let me go back to Richmond real quick. Now, I was just getting ready to go back to Richmond real quick, and this little kid, well, he wasn't a little kid, but it's like 14, 15-year-old cat. He's been there at the shop, and he's looking, and he's staring, he's looking stuff. He's quiet. He hadn't said anything yet, but I seen him my 2-3 times back and forth there that day. So I'm getting ready to roll to Richmond, and Lil Blood speak up. Hey, can I come with you? And I'm like, alright, whatever. Little young light-skinned cat with some baby dreads. He jumps in and he don't say nothing, but we mob to the house. Me and Alice, we mob to the house. He's sitting in the back seat. And so we hop, and I'm thinking like, hold up, who is Blood, right? And he's young, so does his parents know that he's in like 3 cities over? And so I'm like, oh, let me get what I need to get back. And then I'm thinking, well, I don't know Blood, and I just brought him to my crib, right? And I'm like, what kind of a gang goofy mistake is that? So, whatever. Dude ended up being really cool. He was just a chill little young cat that hung out at Performance Options because he liked the cars. And his name was Mike. So, here's this little dude. He asked me on MySpace, right? Blood, his profile picture was crazy funny. But he had hella little broads on his MySpace. And I'm like, this little boy wildin'. And you know, he taking all these pictures, hella selfies. And I was just like, oh, that's funny. But dude started, you know, popping up, and I'd be on NorCal drifting forums, just trying to figure out the drift landscape because I want to go into drifting now. I'm over the bikes. I want to get back into cars. I'm back out every night street racing. I'm, you know, back working on my RX-7. And Lil Cuz is just around. He was like a shop rat. He hung around at the shop. So he was one of those cool kids that you have around when you have a shop and everything going on. And he was very talkative once you knew him, once you got to know him, I guess. But yeah, that was a young 14, 15-year-old Mike. And that's how I first met him. And the dyno went terrible. The dude, not the shop, but a dude said that he knew how to do this and that. So he would come and went to tune my car. He wired it all wrong and blew it up. And by this time, this was like strike 3 for NorCal. I was trying to rush to get the car tuned because we were having an event. The event was something that we had put in so much footwork on, and we were really trying to have a nice car show. We would have meets at San Leandro Marina and stuff like that, but this was a car show that we were setting up. So SYTFU's first annual big car show. Alameda Naval Base. We rented an air hangar. It was huge. We had vendors. We had this. We had that. And so this picture right here, you see myself. I was hosting some things at the events, doing some giveaways. By this time, I kind of worked myself into the scene. And then right here, after I had some downtime, you see myself, Mike, and Joey, the owner of, or one of the operators of Performance Options, where they're chilling. From that point right there, little homie been around. That was 2009. It was funny because as we'll progress in this story, you'll see like I didn't know he was a little hothead, but he was like he's a rider. He's a, like if we was gangbanging and we was on the block, if I said something about somebody, I didn't even have to give the go. Mike was already on him. So that's the type of personality he was. And it was really funny as I was starting to deal with the cars and everything. Some of the events, once I started to do Pro-Am, Justin had got my car together, everything was good to go, and I didn't think I was gonna have to run into a different type of opposition in Pro-Am, like in drifting competition. And we would talk about it on the rides home. Like Mike would be riding with me and he would see that what went on, and we'd be talking about it, and what we'd be talking about in the truck, he would go on like, boy, Lex ain't effing with y'all, and woo woo wham wham. I'd be like, I'd be trying to text him like, yo, chill, blood, chill. But we're gonna say that for another portion of the story. The origins of how Ride Squad started to get to cars, because not only were we still coming from the bike stuff, we know the game, but we don't think like y'all. It was the same thing going into the cars. We know the game, but we don't think like everybody else. So we're gonna leave that for a cliffhanger. Next time, we're gonna talk about the Ride Squad car version and how that grew. And wow, the saga is still going. So with that being said, this vlog is over with. I hope y'all enjoyed the experience chilling with me, talking about a few OG things. And my nose is fine. You know what I'm saying? It was a hard hit, blood. I ain't gonna lie. I almost felt like I got knocked out. I was like, oh God. Blood on my hands. This is a podcast experience gained. I'll catch y'all on the next one, yo.